Well, hello people. So it's Peter here, down in the old man shed, and yeah, the door's wide open. It's not too bad a day. We just got over that stormy weekend, so it's a lot eased off now. Probably sunshine and showers now is the forecast, but you know, it is what it is. We ain't hit summer yet, but still. So hold on. First things first. Cheers. It's coffee again. I do like tea, but it just happens to be coffee again. And also, hold up, let's get the t-shirt in. So warning, I may spontaneously talk about trains. Okay? Right. Now, different one for you. You're going to see the Class 20s, the new addition to the layouts running, and lots of clips of them doing their different duties. And I say now, because I look back at the videos I've filmed, we do know the Bachmann Class 20, this is the new one, and it was built from the ground up and everything, but we all know that Bachmann once again shot themselves in the foot and didn't do the correct lighting on it. Yes, it's got lights, but it hasn't got all the lights, just like on the Class 66s and some other classes that I don't possess, so it doesn't give me any issues. But yeah, and in the video what I keep saying is that it's missing the daytime running lights. Well, of course it's not missing the daytime running lights, it's missing its marker lights. Okay, they're the ones that are missing. Okay, so I just want to put that straight, so that when you it's too late to edit out the video, I'm not going to bother. So when you see that, that's what that's about. Okay, so it's not the daytime running lights, because it's got them and they work. It's the marker lights, the two little patches, little lights that would have been either side of the daytime or nighttime running light. Don't know why. As I said, as I'm going to say in the video, I would have given it 10 out of 10. It's a fabulous loco, but why they did that, I've no idea. Considering they've built it all brand new, Anyway, so that's that. But now I'm going to show you on the layout, not working because they can't. I think I've said in the previous videos, I have a layout up in the loft, and it hasn't been touched in over 30 years. I started it when I got the house, and went up in the loft and thought, whoa, train. You know what to do. That's it. I've got, what a space to put a layout. So I've got a layout up there, but we are looking at over, say, I started it over 30 odd years ago, pre the internet, pre eBay, God knows this, that and the other. So it's all bits and pieces that I've had to try and do, trying to glean knowledge from magazines and whatever. So I used the wrong baseboards. I actually used wood, and found out how easy that is to pin track to normal wood, as opposed to cork or what's in laminated or whatever, you know what I mean. So plywood. But nevertheless, you will see I took a video up in the loft the other day of what she's looking like now, which is obviously filthy and all the rest of it, but you see the layout I'd made, and plenty of room. And what I'm going to show you now is the locos that I've rescued from the loft, that have been up there, thankfully, in their boxes. Not so thankfully sometimes, because when I opened up a box, a loco that was safely secured in what was foam, well, the foam doesn't exist anymore. You touch it, it just disintegrates. Okay, so that was all over the engine. I had to get a brush and brush it off. Luckily, it doesn't seem to have harmed the paintwork and everything. It all came off. But oh dear, thought, what do you do? But I'm going to show you the locos that I've rescued. I've been going through them. I've done them all now. I've gone through them. They all work. They all still work. They've had a little bit of cleaning up with the wheels, because the wheels are tarnished. But we're talking Lemur, Rocco and Rivarossi and Yoath. Funny enough, apart from Rocco, they're all now under the umbrella of Hornby now, aren't they, all those names? But back in the day, I was buying them from dedicated model shops which specialises in HO railway. So because what I did, guys, I modelled my youth. And what do I mean by that? Well, my mum was Italian, right? So our holidays, my brother and I, we spent going back to Italy on the train. which means overnight trains, the couchettes. So that's my, that's my love of Italian railways, because I thought it was more interesting. I was born in Guy's Hospital at London Bridge, so I must have heard a train when I was born, so I obviously got trains. And we lived in flats that were on the second floor that was level with the brick viaducts that run the trains into London Bridge. So my experience of English outline trains was really just seeing the old green slam door EMUs, and when you've seen one of those snaking its way up the London Bridge, you've seen them all, they all look exactly the same, So yes, I like my steam, but I'm not that knowledgeable about steam. Well, a bit more now, I guess, but at the time, the British steam outline didn't interest me that much, as opposed to I wanted to model my memories as a kid going to Italy and everything, my brother and I. So what you'll see is Italian outline, Swiss outline, and French. And I'll show you those locos, and also got the coaches as well that went with them, so I could form rakes. And the layout that you will see was a single loop, but obviously divided into all different lines and this, that and the other, because I was going to just mimic the station area. And the station area, it was based on a location in Italy, North Italy, called Domodossola. And what happens there is where the Swiss pulled train, it comes into the Italian station there, but then the Swiss locos and the Italian locos they worked on a different current on the overhead powers. So the Swiss loco had to be taken off, an Italian one put on, and then we went on our journey. And so the Domodossola was like an exchange area, so it was lots of activity, trains coming in with a Swiss loco on, or trains coming in with Italian loco on, and they would have to put either a Swiss loco on the front of that to take it on, or an Italian loco on the front. So you needed your little diesel shunters, which I've got, and because without power and everything, it would come down to diesel shunters moving all the locos around. So at the time, Domodossola was a hive of activity, and that's what I couldn't create accurately, because it's a huge complex. But all I wanted to do was just do the station area, and where I could bring a train in, take the loco off, head shunt it and this, that and the other. So I was, unlike my Torridon Road layout here, which is 2 loops, this Domodossola is really just a 1 loop, although it breaks out into sidings at the back end of the layout, but I wasn't going to detail that. I was just going to concentrate on the station area. But the other thing I did, guys, and you'll see on these trains, when we talk HO and Continental, we're talking overhead lines, pickups. And yes, you will see just about, you can see the beginning, well, not the beginnings, I did have a complete loop of overhead lines, and it worked. Alright, you could get them to work, because these locos that I'm going to show you now, they're all fitted with switches that you just twist the switch, and it either picked up its current from the overhead pantograph, or it picked it up from 2 rails. So over 30 odd years ago, guys, I had 2 trains running on the same track, because one was running from overhead power on a little duet, H&M duet controller, and the other half of the controller was operating the two lines on the track. So I could actually bring 2 locos in. So over 30 years ago I was doing that. Now, of course, there's DCC. Well, I think, as Alan proved, how many did he have running the other day? But yeah, so 30 years, that was back in the day. And you can just about see the line that I was working on when everything got stopped. And, why? Well, because I could become a parent. My daughter was born. And that's it. So that put pay to that. So it shut the trap door. Put the stock in boxes, thank God I did that, but shut the loft door on it. And now, not so agile, not so fit to get back into the loft is a bit of I can get in there, but certainly not to clamber around to try and get into the inner area of the layout and operate train. Oh God, no. So, but I felt a bit guilty about leaving all this stock up there. I thought, well, let's have a look. So I brought it down. So that's what I'm going to show you. Okay. So let's have a look. Yeah? Okay. Cheers, bear with me. And then we'll go on to the Class 20. Alright. Okay, so we'll start off with the Swiss Locos. Two Roco models there, and a Lemur model at the end, which is a little diesel shunter. This one's the only one that's a bog standard train. It's got no gimmicks, nothing, no lights, you know, because it is a tiny little shunter, and you can't have the lights on it. These two, the two Roco, must have been the latest releases by Roco back in the 80s, because they are literally the last Locos I must have bought. Modern look to them, like all things, working like you're going to see on all my models, working overhead lines if you wanted to. You had to remove a little air cover here to get to the switch, and then you could select from either down below or up above. Full lighting, driver figure fitted, wing mirrors fitted. I mean, the detail was amazing back for the day. Lights had red lights and white lights, but the red light worked because at the end of the light tunnel, where the lights are in the middle here somewhere, but the lighting tunnel that worked the lights had a bit of red paint on the end of it, so it looked red. So white in forward, red in reverse, and yeah, both exactly the same, just different liveries. But that was the Swiss markings of the day. So that's my three Swiss engines. Right, next ones we're going to look at all Italian. Okay, we look at the big brown monsters now, and even though I was doing the model in the 80s, these, although they probably come from the era before that, were still running, which is why they've got a place on on what would have been my layout, because these were still running. They didn't bother to scrap. If a Loco was working, they didn't scrap them. Why should they? It was doing their job. This big old boy, this is by Rivarossi. This to me looks like an Italian electric version of a Class 66. You can see by its wheel arrangement is a monster. So back in the day would do express duties and then onto freight. And here, by my thumb, there's the lever. There, so you move that, and that makes the overhead or the two wires. Working lights, traction tyres. Pretty good actually, because they're not rubber. I don't know what they made. So she's Rivarossi. Next one is Rivarossi, and now we look at the cantilever bodies now. That's standard with Italian Locos. And then the one behind it is a Roco, and that goes back to an even older style. I remember, but these were all still running on the tracks in the 80s. So with the Swiss train that you just saw, with a very modern look, these would have still been running alongside it. Okay, but they're all working. What I'll do is I'll take this one off the track later, and I'll put some power to it, and you'll see that how quickly she runs. They're all brushed up very well. Okay, that's my brown Italian Locos. Okay, so with this, now we've got a Lemur model here. This possibly is the most modern Italian Loco that I've got. So you can see the styling, it's a bit similar to the Swiss one now. This angular look to it. So that would have been the most up-to-date Italian Loco that I would have had running on my 80s era layout. Italians like their little cartoon, so on the side there is a tiger. Alright, little emblem there, see just under my finger is a tiger. Again, even though Lemur, overhead pickup, no problem. There's the switches in the roof there. 3 sets of wheel sets arrangements. Can you see that? I think you can. Yeah, so that's the, but solid bodies, but that's that one. This is River Rossi. This would have been the mainstream until that new one that I just passed out the way. This would have been the main one on the Italian lines. Just a bogey and a bogey there. Yeah, pick up. Like with all the models, you know, they all fitted with lights. So the light, you had the white running lights in the forward direction, and then following on from that one, oh, that one is the little cartoon is a little turtle. So you've had a tiger, now you've got the turtle, and the next one coming up is a crocodile. You see the little crocodile. So again, 3 sets bogies, but this time now you've got the cantilever bodied. And so back in the day, this would be found on mainline passenger service or pulling freight. These ones were more always passenger service, I think, and then of course these ones coming in to take over from them. But to be honest, they were all running, you know, not one superseded the other. That's the thing about Italian railways. They didn't waste their resources. If something worked, they used it. Right, let's have a look at some more. Okay, the last of the actual Locos. So this one in its livery is even older than what you've just seen before, but still, as I say, would have been found on the Italian railways back in the 80s. This is the Lemur one. Working lights, working pantographs. The unusual fact that it's got cantilever bodied again, and you've got your 3 sets of bogies. Alright, so that's that one. And then last but no means least, out of the actual Locos is the diesel branch line. Yeah, I mean, she would obviously work where there was no overhead power, you know, just do the branch lines, or to be found on the main lines, put in a bit of freight, you know, something simple like that. So it would be used. This is a Lemur one, very simple, but it's still got working lights, believe it or not. And yeah, quite a funny looking engine, isn't it? That's typical Italian. It's hard to imagine that this is the same country that produces the Lamborghini and the Ferrari, and yet they come up with a Loco looking like that. But yeah, it's quirky, but I like it. So that's the Locos. We'll look at the some passengers now. Okay, so now we're looking at EMUs, I guess you call them, yeah, because it's electric. This is a like fast bullet 2-car setup. You won't know the manufacturer of this one because this was like a small company purchased that I bought in when I was in Italy. So it's not one of the big manufacturers, and it's one that my brother loves. Again, same sort of thing again. Although she's in her brown Italian colours, this would be found, you know, in many a railway station back in the day. Fast passenger duties, yeah. So there you are. So 2-car setup, top and, you know, just as fast forward as backwards, needs to say, because it just had that look. But quite loved that engine, quite loved that Loco. So that's one EMU. Okay, so we've had the EMU. Now I suppose we've got the DMUs. So this is it. This is a River Rossi 2-car set. You know, sort of commuter type of train. Bog standard. Although it would have had lights, believe it or not. But no interior detail to speak of, not at all. But there you are. And the coupling system was as primitive as possible. I mean, look, hold up. Let's take look at that coupler. It's just a bent bit of metal. It just goes into a link, into a D-link, and that's it. And that's how they coupled them up. So yeah, but there you are. So a little this is a River Rossi set of a commuter rail car, and I'll show you now a more up-to-date one, which was the Lemur's version. And there we are. So more up-to-date DMU in more modern colours and everything. This 2-car set was by Lemur. Actually got seats inside it, believe it or not. Yeah, fine. And I think yes, it had lights. Alright, quite a nice one, this one. More up to date. So that is the actually motive rolling stock from my layout, so all working, I'm pleased to show. I've got some steam engines, which are the French ones, and we'll have a quick look at those, and that'll be it. Right, okay, let's see. Using the oldest controller going, this operated my Hornby 003 rail train set back in the 60s, and yet the controller is still working fine. So yeah, just plugged it onto this bit of crappy old line. We'll see what we get. Let's have a look. So there we go. So it's the track is just, you know, it's really awkward because of the track, but there you go. What can I say? But she stopped there. Oh no, just touches. It's the track that's dirty. And if I just bring her back there and just hold it whilst, oh, wrong way. I think you can see the lights are just about operating. Alright, so there you are, guys. That's that one working. Not bad for 30 plus years old. Okay, so this is a Rivarossi Loco of the French railways. I must have bought this, I think, maybe back in 1975, I think. So how old does that make it? I don't know. And she didn't, although I used it for a little while, I literally played with it like it was a train set down on the floor on carpet. Never really put it on my layout because basically I was modelling Italian 80s, so this French steam train unfortunately took a back seat. So she's been in a box. That is the actual box still, Rivarossi, and let's see, get her going the right way. Not bad. Coming back. For some reason or other, the lights are flickering better going back than they are going forward. Look at that. That's not bad, is it? Such an old. And I'll take it off the I mean, when you look at the detail, let's have a look at this thing in detail. Bearing in mind it's over 40 odd years old. So she gets pick up from the tender when I can disconnect it. Come on. Doesn't want to come off. There we are. I mean, all this pipe work, all added detail. This is all back in the day, you know. All this pipe working, all this around here on both sides. Yeah. So you think, fantastic detail. Wow, the things they did. What's the cab like? Well, the cab is full of electric motor. What cab detail. There is the biggest electric motor going. Easy to change the brushes though, isn't it? Look at that. But yeah, but otherwise fabulous engine. I mean, yeah, beautiful. And well, you just saw it running, and even on the tender, all the separately applied handrails and things like that, all, you know, right, amazing. Right, okay, got another couple of French locos to show you, but they're not in operation because I'm waiting for new drive belts to come off of eBay. Hold on. Right, so the last two locos I'll show you are by Yoef, and they're steamed. There we are, nice little steam engine. This one's in pieces because I'm waiting for drive belt. Okay, that's how she drives. The motor's that way. She's belt drive from the motor to the cog underneath, to the drive shaft underneath. And why in here, this is the drive belt, and you can see the shape of it. It's you know, not being used in all those years. The rubber's taken the shape, you know, and she's not about to work very well. It's hard. It's yeah, doesn't respond, but I can still get them. There's a French company that markets a different type of plastic or something rather than this rubber, and so I've ordered some off of eBay. So both this loco needs it, and the next one I'm going to show you. There we are. Look, you've got lights. although I'm missing the little bulb, but again, I can get those if I want. But a lovely little motion working on those 040s. Is it 040s? Yeah, oh, I don't know. So yeah, very nice little motion when she's running, which she was running when I put it away. But as I say, so that's what she looks like. Of the French things, all the bits in there, ready to screw it all back together again when I get the drive belt. That's that one. Look at that, guys. I've still got all the boxes. Unbelievable. Oh, this one cost £9.58p. There you go. Oh my gosh, how many years ago. And then this one, similar sort of mechanism. Is that train? Yeah. That's got a tender. But that works exactly the same way. We've got a drive belt that's slipping like crazy. It's not broken, it's there, but it just doesn't grip. You know, it's gone. So I've got 2 drive belts on order, and that'll be that. Right. Why did I buy these? Because, as I say, I was mimicking my childhood memories of train travel, and that involved going over to Italy on the overnight couchette trains. And so before I went the Italian layout route, you know, I was going to have some French loco as well, because I've got the French carriages that belong to this, and also the French couchette coaches that belong to the journey to Italy. So I've got those, but I won't show you those. But I've got in my coaches, I've got rakes of Swiss coaches, rakes of Italian coaches, and rakes of French coaches, which, you know, all boxed up. And I have them, and they're in even better condition than the Locos, because you know, nothing to go wrong with the coaches. All steel wheels, no plastic wheels on the Continental stuff. They made it, you know, didn't get plastic wheels or anything like that. What you didn't get on the Yoef, how do you pronounce it, coaches, is you didn't get interior detail on the coaches. You had to, you could buy that separately. Right, okay, thank you for watching. Go back now to fast forward into the class 20s to see what I thought of my class 20s then. Okay guys, so thank you very, very much for watching. I hope it, you know, it's not your outline that you model, I know, but this was a trip down memory lane for me, and I've now got my Locos on display in the living room now, apart from these ones. And that's it. Right, thank you guys. All the very, very best from Peter down in the old man shed. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Bye. Okay, so my new class 20s. Very, very nice. Both in the DRS livery, but one's in the more modern livery than the other one. That's because I didn't want to go down the route of having 2 the same, and therefore have to try and think about renumbering one. In my world, one's been into the spray shop and had the new logo painted, and the other one's still waiting to go in. Fantastic Locos. Score 9 out of 10 from Bachmann. Would have got a 10 out of 10, but as we all know, Bachmann once again have decided, even though they built this thing from the ground up, they've got a thing about not giving you the correct light setup. So that's what takes the 1 point away from being a 10 out of 10. Otherwise, I can't fault them. They're both sound fitted Bachmanns from the factory, which means there's a speaker on board fitted, which I think they fit to all of them, even if you don't get sound. It's got, for me, it's got a Zemo chip in there, my first Zemo chips, not had any before, with Southwest Digital sound files, and it all absolutely works. There's enough sound for me in my little room. I don't need to, I'm not thinking of upgrading the speaker or anything like that. I'm happy with what they are, and I'm certainly happy with the Southwest Digital sound file and the functions. The lovely thing about this little setup is you can play around with the lights. So in this configuration, you're able to turn off the lights and have the the lights that you want on. So I've got just the front lights on, nothing in the middle and nothing at the back. If I run these as a pair light, I can have the red lights at the back and white lights at the front. So there's a way of configuring the lights, which is perfect for if you top and tail them, or if you head a trail, or if they run a train, or just run light, you can mix them. You can do what you need with the lights to give you the correct functions. Same with the cab lights. Cab lights, you can turn them on and off, and if you do turn them on, they go off as soon as the train moves. So like a lot of my Lego Man Biffo trains did anyway, now it seems that they're coming on mainstream, or it may be just a Zimmo and Southwest Digital done that one, but that's great. Now, as I told you will see, I've just showed you that they're close coupled, and I will do a little video of you showing how that works, bearing in mind that they've got that coupling that keeps them fixed together. Not that they need to be fixed together, they really run well under a consist. So if I have them at the top and tail of a train, I'll put the Hunt couplings back in, and they work so well together, they don't break away, they're not pushing, they're not pulling. So really happy. However, pulling this little train, and you're thinking, well, hold on, because I've super detailed the Locos, they've all got their hoses at both ends and whatever. So you're thinking, well, how the hell is that one with a Hunt coupling or a normal tension lock coupling pulling that wagon? That's because there's not a tension lock coupling or a Hunt coupling on that one. This is my own little, all it does is pull. So we have my little hook, and I actually put that on the hook of the train, and it doesn't pull it out. It's fine. Let's have a look. Try and do it on camera. I don't know. Can I do it? Yes, I've got to do it by the hand of God, obviously, because it doesn't couple up. But there you go, and there you are, and it pulls, and it's just absolutely right. So it can run the little engineering train round, okay, whilst being a train in its own right, double-headed. And I can do the same with the nuclear flasks, because I've got the same sort of setup. Or with the nuclear flasks, I can have them in the middle of this train, which I think I'm going to show you on video. I can't remember what I did now with the video. I would take some video clips, so you'll see that. But there we are. But yeah, beautiful Locos. Really happy with them. It's just a shame that Bachmann, why on earth they've got this thing about giving you the correct lights. I don't know. I've done a thing with my layout. Every Loco that's on the layout has got its correct lights, because I went to the trouble of fixing all my Bachmann Class 66s and put the correct lights on. The 68s, they're okay. The Bachmann 37s, thank heavens, they're okay. And I haven't got any other Bachmann Locos. I do believe that there's a couple of other Locos out there from Bachmann that again don't have daytime running lights on. Yeah, I don't know why they do it. So otherwise these would have been perfection. Straight out the box, running, perfect. Did the half hour each way running in. And then you can imagine my delight when I put them in the consist with the Gauge Master. They ran fantastic together. So there's no pulling or pushing. They really run smooth. And to testify that, on these particular Bachmann models, they've got the little white markings on the wheels, which I know happens, and I know I would love to have it on my 37s, but I'm not good enough at painting something as precise as that, so I've not done it. But on this one, Bachmann give it to you, and as I say, when they're running together, there's one's not turning whilst the other one's stationary, if you know what I mean. You can see they both move off exactly the same time, so really good pairing. So that's great. Okay, so at this moment in time, the two Class 20s are fitted together with this coupling. Alright, so it's fixed. Okay, not there's any fighting between the two, it's just to get a very almost prototypical gap between the buffers, right? But you're probably saying to yourself, hold up, there's hardly any gap there, and yet you're taking them round second radius curves. Well, I'll show you why it works. Hold on. Okay, so here we come. We're on a second radius curve. How on earth, with them fixed together, does it work? Well, the answer is, guys, that these Locos are fixed with sprung buffers. How's that? You cannot get better than that, guys. That's it. Yes, they are sprung buffers, and yes, as it goes round the second radius, there is no gap between the buffers but of course they're sprung, so they get pressed in against themselves, but they do not lock. And when she comes back round again, nice and slowly, no problems, it opens up again on the straights. The buffers stop being compressed, but now they're getting compressed, but they're not locking, they're touching against each other, kissing each other. And so when she comes round, so she's compressed at the moment, there it is, touching, comes round on the straight, perfection. That's alright, isn't it?